Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's read. Forgot what I was thinking. Okay, for this week's read, the main tarot I'm going to use is Gilded Tarot Royale. Yep. By Chiro Marchetti. Text by Barbara Moore. And I'm going to go ahead and say there is the website on here, even though... There it is. Apparently I'm just completely a little behind. Here, Llewellyn.com, I believe, is there. Feel free to freeze frame and check out any of those other links if you're interested. Supportive Oracle Cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle Cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. And the website in the back of this one, rockpoolpublishing.com.au is A as an apple, U as an umbrella. And last but not least, I have new dice, but I don't know where I have them. They're in my house. For this week, I'm going to still use the D&D dice. The 20 I used for the Major Arcana, which does omit 21 and 0. Somebody pointed out, and they're correct. And I used the number 4 dice for the element, and I used the 12-sided dice for the Minor Arcana, which one I'm going to use. Which I have new dice. But my brain does not know where I put them at the moment, even though I put them somewhere safe. I know that much. All right. That's what I got for this week. Let's go on to your reading. Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. This reading is valid for whenever you come to it. That being said, what do we have for Aquarius? Okay. You got the Devil card first out. You got the Five of Wands that kind of pushed off from the bottom of the deck here. Well, that may be the case, but you're still going to be okay. In fact, you got Judgment in your favor at the end here, so even though we got conflict and we got the Devil, doesn't mean the Devil's going to win, clearly. So, what do we do? Feeling trapped and wondering if it even matters. So, at the bottom of the Oracle deck is Personal Transformation, which means this is going to require some emotional work moving forward, but you got this, is what it's also saying. It's kind of time for something to change. Only one person can get you to change, that's you. I don't know what you're changing here, but I get like, whatever you feel like you're stuck with, they're like saying you're not stuck with this. It seems like you feel like you're stuck with something, is what I'm getting. And I'm getting like, I try to do what I can, but every time I try to step forward, I get knocked back 2 places. I work at it, I get back up to where I'm supposed to be, but then if I advance again, I get knocked back 2 places, and I work back to where I was. It's kind of like I go from 0, plus 2, or 0, plus 1, minus 2, plus 1 again, and if I stay there, they leave me alone. Then if I try to advance, if I try to jump up 2, I get pushed back 3, and I have to get back up 1, and I'm back where I'm supposed to be. So it's like all the effort I put in to make change happen, it just gets undone or something else happens to screw me over. The Devil's coming in fairly soon, so if it hasn't shown up yet, it will show up soon. You got the Devil with the King of Swords here, which is telling me it's somebody who literally just wants to be a pain in your butt. But the King of Swords, that's a matching energy for Aquarius. So I don't want to say that they're matching your intellect, but I feel like they're stopping you in your tracks one way or another. They're getting in your way one way or another. They're stopping you from advancing the way you want to one way or another. It's kind of like if you're like, all right, I'm going to make some home improvements, but I got to use these electric tools. They're the ones who keep turning off the power. You could technically do it with like manual tools, or what do you call that? No, it's not analog. Analog is a clock. You could do it with manual tools, non-electric tools, but it's kind of like this is somebody who keeps turning off the power every time you try to advance. So it's like, I got things going, I need electricity to move things forward correctly. If I don't have that, it kind of like screws me over. And I feel like they're getting in your way again. They are getting in your way again, but something else seems to be happening at the same time. Because when they get in your way, they get in their own way. This is curious. Nine of fire, half in, half out, and then the death card. Ooh. Okay, this might be quite the advancement or quite the change. I mean, conflict is happening, but exactly how it's happening is a good question. Personal transformation, keep that in mind as we keep moving forward. Because I'm getting like, whatever this person's doing to get in your way, they're getting in their own way as well. And somebody else is noticing this. That earth energy, like, the Ten of Pentacles is an earth energy. The Devil is also an earth energy, quite frankly. Sometimes it talks about Capricorn. Capricorn's an earth card, or an earth sign. That's where I'm going with that, in case you're wondering. There's a very strong earth energy here, kind of like, it's kind of like they're creating an avalanche and they're burying themselves. They're burying you, or they think they are, but they're burying themselves. Whatever they're doing to get in your way, ironically, it's going to work to your advantage in the long run. Because other people, there's something else that's coming in. If this is a business situation, whatever they're doing might be illegal. I don't know, take that with a grain of salt. It's a general read. Take it with a grain of salt, of course. But whatever they're doing, it might be literally illegal, and they might be screwing themselves quite hard on that one. Because due to whatever they've done at this point, it's creating a whole change in the situation. It's going kind of like to your advantage. It's pushing forward a lot of energy. And I'm getting like, this is a moment where I feel like you seem to have a choice. There's a lot of conflict here, and you have a choice. This is where your personal transformation comes in. When all this energy comes pushing forward, it actually goes to your benefit. But the thing is, I feel like I have the ability to either end this and go somewhere else, which they're saying ironically not to do. Ironically. So like if this was a company, when I say go somewhere else, it's like go to a different department maybe. Because I don't feel like it's like a whole like, changing the company, but it could be. They're saying don't do this either way. Ironically. They're saying hold to your ground here, because this is where things really go your way. This is where you can really transform the situation. Because I feel like I'm out from under something. I can get away. I can go do something different. But if you hold to it, you get control of this situation. It does have limits. It definitely does have some limits. Aquarius can do amazing things with limits. Aquarius can do amazing things with limits. Your first instinct might be to move on from it. Like, all right, now I get to get out of here. Now I get to get away from this. Because of what went wrong, it opens a door for me. I can go out this door. They're ironically saying, don't walk out that door. Hold strong. Because this is where your advantage comes in. There are limits here, yes. There are boundaries, definitely. But you can do amazing things with that. Your new life path could come out of this. Something that you're really good out of that. Good. You can see things other people can't see. You can talk to things people can't talk to. This will advance you further where you want to be if you stick around. Ironically, I feel like I don't want to at first. I'm like, I'm so fed up with it. I'm so worn out with it. I don't want to really do that. If you do, it'll advance you further in the direction you actually want to go. It's just, I feel like the situation has worn you out due to this other person. But if you hold on, judgment goes in your favor. And something new will come out of it. Something gets to grow. It's like whatever it was so damaged, we had to cut it back. We had to cut it back to like a third of what it was supposed to be. But once it starts growing again, like a lot of plants, if you trim them or you prune them the correct way, they can flourish even better than they did originally. When they're pruned the correct way, when you know what you're doing. I'm saying that as a person who doesn't know how to prune things correctly. But I know that if you have somebody who does, if you know what you're doing with a certain plant, you know how it actually grows and how it actually thrives, you can really do great things with it. You can start back, pull it back to a third of what it was, but then regrow it 10 times what it was. It's just believing that this is something for you. That seems to be the hard part. Judgment will go in your favor. It's just holding on for it, because it's kind of like whatever was going on in this situation, I feel like, for example, if it was a job situation and maybe it wasn't your manager, maybe it was the manager above them that was giving you a hard time, and they kept pushing this and pushing that, and your manager went along with it, and other people were going along with it, and you're like, all right, sure, it was that one person, but these other people were going along with it. They were also making my life really difficult. So I don't want to deal with them. That one person may have like sealed their own fate, and maybe they're out of the way, but what about these other people who went along with it? Ironically, it's, how do I put this? I feel like you'll understand it if I say it correctly. You're always going to have people like that just go along with the flow. For whatever reason, maybe they were intimidated, maybe it was out of fear, maybe it was just the easiest thing for them to do. You will always have that around you. It's better to see it for what it is and be aware of it so you can plan for it, versus going into a new situation and believing the best with people, and then when things get rough, finding out what they're really like. These people, you already know what they're really like. You can use that to your advantage. And they're saying, stick with this, because you already know what these people are like, if that's the case, if that's how this is working out. It's better to know than not know. You know what I mean? I learned that. I've worked at a few different corporate places, and I learned that over some time. Like, you always have the same players, it's just different people. And it's like, when you don't realize it, when you're starting a job and you don't realize that you have the same players, it seems a lot easier. But then when those same players will show up in just different bodies and different voices. You know what I mean? You always have the same players to some extent. That's my opinion. A mixing of them. Maybe you have more of this and more of that or whatever. Maybe you have more people who are physically this and more people who are verbally that. But you know what I mean? You still have the same kind of balance of like certain type of aspects are still going to be, especially if you're in a bigger corporation, if you follow me. They're like, you know what's going on with this. It's kind of like the devil you know, which is ironic that I'm saying that. You know how the rest of these people work, and you can maneuver and see it coming before it's a problem. That will give you the advantage in this situation. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.